Hello everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm coming with the prompt bite. What a weird one. That's the weirdest one we have, I think. This is for day, what day is it? Day 11, November 11th of the hashtag Art Journal Habit 2018 challenge. This is a daily art journaling challenge, and I've been making a video every day, pretty much every single day, for your enjoyment. So I hope you're enjoying it. So also, this counts as a crazy page. Remember, I've been doing that collaboration where I received a bunch of different crazy pages and I made crazy pages and I sent them away and I got other ones. And I have this plastic envelope full of things that I got from that swap collaboration. And I decided to use some of those on this page today to make my background. I cannot remember who made this crazy page. I have a guess, but I'm not going to say in case I'm wrong. Just don't want to be wrong. But it's really cool. It's got a lot of layers. It's very bumpy, very crinkly and bumpy. And so I'm really spending a lot of time making sure that it's glued down really well to the page. And then I had this leftover piece that I used that on another page, but then I had a little bit of leftover, and I'm just using it to fill in the spots that I didn't have anything, the rest of I used up all the one page, and then I'm filling in some spots with this blue. And it's a handmade paper with little inclusions of newsprint inside. It's really cool. I was playing with the idea of using that piece. I'm going to use that on something. I still have more stuff left in the crazy pages container, so maybe I'll make another crazy page this month sometime later, or maybe by the end of the year I probably will use it all up. Maybe, I'm not sure, but I've been working along with it occasionally, and you've seen a few other ones, and I'll try to link these in the iCard. Other crazy pages videos I'll put in the iCard if I remember. So this sketch on a piece of regular old text weight paper, which it's not the best thing to use in art, but I was sketching. I did a commission, and you'll see it completed maybe in December because I don't have time to edit it and do it this month, obviously, since art journal pages every day. But this was the beginning sketch that I did for a paper painting, and I had it left over. No sense in wasting it, yeah. So I decided to use it. So I glued it down with the Liquitex matte gel medium and my new glue brush. And everyone's been excited about the glue brush. I'll, of course, have a link to it to Amazon where you can find that glue brush if you'd like to purchase one. It is actually really nice. It's a Tim Holtz Distress product, and I don't know why I didn't have it before. I just never saw it. And I saw it in South Carolina when I was there at a scrapbooking store and purchased it, and I've really been enjoying it. So I recommend everyone gets one because I'm an enabler. I'm enabling you to go buy a glue brush. It's a very nice one. I decided to use these, oh gosh. Wow, it just fell out of my head what brand these are, but these are Japanese watercolors that I just had to have at some point, and then I hardly ever use them. Really not that much of a watercolorist, as you guys probably noticed, but I do like it. And these particular ones are more like a gouache than a watercolor. A gouache is like an opaque watercolor, sort of. It's an in-between. It's kind of like tempera paint, kind of like, I don't know. Anyway, these are the Japanese colors, and it came from Japan. And I started out with kind of the medium tone, which is an ochre color. I decided to make this dog into a yellow lab or something instead. The original dog that you'll see later on sometime in December or something in the paper painting is black. But I'm just using the sketch. This isn't supposed to be that dog. This is just the sketch left over from when I made the paper painting. So I decided to make it like a golden lab or something. So I started with that ochre color, and then I moved to kind of a rusty color, and went over some of the shadow areas with that. Now, keep in mind the paper this is sketched on is just plain paper from the printer, so it's not good for watercolor. It's not good for any type of art. It's a thin, crappy paper, but I'm making the best of it. And one thing that I do like about this watercolor set, since it's more of kind of like a gouache, is it has the white, and I can paint with it with this water-soluble media while painting as if it's acrylic, you know, rather than worrying about leaving the areas that I need light and all that type of stuff like you do with watercolor, which is almost kind of opposite of what you do with acrylic. I'm painting watercolor as if it's acrylic. Does that make sense? So I can come back in with that white, which is kind of an opaque color. I can lighten up places. You can't do that in a real watercolor. If you're really actually doing a watercolor, you have to leave the places that you want lighter without paint on them, because that's just how watercolor works. So yeah, this stuff is kind of an in-between, and it's a fun set to have. I'll find it. I'll go find out what the brand is. It's an Asian word, so that's why I can't remember. SAI maybe? So I don't know. You guys have seen this before. I know you have. Other people have it and use it in their videos. But I will go and I'll find it and put in a link to Amazon in the description box below in case you want to buy this set. One thing you do need to do is give it a good squirt with plain water in a squirt bottle before you start painting, because it's pretty dry and it doesn't pick up on your brush, you know, as quickly as, like, say, my Sakura ones do. So getting it good and wet and letting it sit there for a few minutes is a good idea. Also, I'm using a high quality watercolor brush. This is you know what, I can't remember the brand of it either, but I'll link it in the description box below. Guys, I'm tired. I don't know what's going on today. But it's a very thirsty brush. It has bristles that come to a fine point, so I can do a very fine painting with it. But then the top part of them is fluffy, so it soaks up water and gives you a lot of nice water to do your watercolor with. So if you're really going to do watercolors, I would suggest that you get a decent brush. I got that one from Dick Blick, and it wasn't that expensive, but it's a nice brush to use with watercolor. And I just save it for that. I don't put anything else on it. I put it in the back of the brush holder, and I don't use it for anything else but watercolor, so that it'll stay nice. So now this is my new Pentel pocket brush, which has India ink cartridge in it. And I love this brush. I'm in love with it. It's got a synthetic bristle brush on it, and so you can make thin and thick lines. And then it comes with these two cartridges, and you put the cartridge inside and it flows. And then when that cartridge runs out, you put the other one in, and when that one runs out, I don't know if there's refills or if you just buy a new pocket brush, but it's a Pentel brand, and I'm having fun with it. So I went ahead and did my illustration lines with that instead of getting out my normal pins, my Faber-Castell pins. And then, of course, highlights with my white Posca pen, and pretty happy with that. I went around the edges. I've been going around the edges of most of my pages with this Memento Black. And then I used a paper tube that just lives on my desk to make some more of those round marks like the person who made the background did, just kind of over the dog at the bottom so that it integrates in really well with the background. And then now I'm using my Brother P-Touch label maker to make some lines of text. And this is a part of a quote from either a movie or a comedian, I don't know, but he's talking about how you can't trust women and here's why. And then he asks the woman if her dog bites, and she says no, and he says, oh really, then how come it can still eat? And then you know, he's like, women are liars, it's a joke. It's funny, people. It's a joke. So I'm putting part of that on there, and I've printed it out on my labels, and then I'm trimming them down, and I'm not being careful. I'm not being fussy. I need to get these pages done quickly, so I'm not worrying about how straight my lines are or anything. So I stick those on. I go around the edges with my black pen, and then I think I'm done with this page. I hope you're enjoying this series. If you are, please remember to give it a thumbs up, even if you did the last one and the one before. Leave me a comment. I know you guys are getting bored with the comments, but please just, even if it's just a smiley face, it helps my channel out a lot if you do that. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your notification bells if you haven't already. And you can pin this on Pinterest. I have a Pinterest board of all these in order on my Pinterest profile. You can do that too, so you can find them again really easily. That's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.